You are now watching MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Chill! Hello, everybody. This is your boy Ken, aka MrGentleman, and I am the host of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast. And welcome to another new episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast TV. Hope all is well. And all the episodes we got a special guest. We got the ladies of Opinionated Lushes on the show, Jessica, Saunya, and Dawn Marie. And we discussed their podcast show, Opinionated Lushes, mental health, their life journey, and many more. So y'all already know what to do. Sit back, relax, and I'll be right back. Yes, welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. At this time, I got my special guest. We got podcast hosts today. We got a podcast called Opinionated Lushes. We got Jessica, Saunya, and Dawn Marie in the building. How y'all doing today?
Hi.
Hello.
Yes, and welcome to the show. How y'all doing?
We're doing good. It's been a day. I mean, it's definitely been a day. So I'm still here though. So that's good. It's good.
It's good.
That's good. And welcome for coming on the show. And I'm a fan of y'all. I enjoy y'all show. So
Thank you.
This is great to have y'all on the show. And also, y'all are the first podcast group I ever had on my show. So
We're so honored.
I feel so special right now. Thank you.
Anytime. So first, I'm gonna ask y'all, where are y'all from?
Canada.
We actually live in different provinces because someone moved away, Saunya.
Yeah. I was I like chickens.
Yeah, you can't have chickens here. So we're me and Dawn are in Ontario, and Saunya, where are you from?
New Brunswick.
Okay, nice. So how would y'all describe yourself with 3 words? Each from each of y'all.
Me, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna pick I'm bubbly. I'm always anxious, but that's like helps me get things done. And I am enjoyable to be around. That's more than 3 words, but that's okay.
That's good. And what about you, Jessica?
Okay, that's funny. Because I also put anxious. So this is probably why we're friends. I also put funny. I think I can be fairly humorous at times. And then my last word is literary because I really like books.
Nice.
There you go.
We're going to dive more to that a little later, too. And what about you, Dawn Marie?
So I'm quiet normally. I'm a bookworm, and I like to think I'm hilarious as well.
and I'm quiet too at times. So we got that in common. So what do y'all like to do in your own time?
Video games.
Mm.
I really like video games. I spend way too many hours playing video games. But that's what I enjoy.
I like board games a lot. Board games is a big one. And outside gardening and animal taking care of. There's a word for that. Husbandry. That's the word.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there's a word for that.
I like to read, write, and cook on my spare time whenever my kids let me.
Nice. All those things. I do play video games as well. I got a question for that later. We're gonna say that for later.
We're saving extra questions.
Yeah. And what is one talent that y'all have but nobody knows about?
Dawn, do you want to go first on this one?
Okay, so I had a real problem trying to answer this question because I can't talk about myself. I don't know why. So I asked the group, and I'm like, "Hey, what's like some of my talents here?" And Jessica's like, "Well, you know how to shut down a house party within minutes." So I know that. And then I thought about it, and I also know how to drink half a bottle of tequila without making a face.
That's a good talent. Yeah.
Yeah.
So she can both start the party.
Yeah, she could start the party and finish it. She's got good mom vibes, like get out, curfew.
And what about you, Saunya?
Yeah, I had trouble with this one too, but since people can't really see me on our podcast, I'm gonna say I can flare my nostrils like a bunny. That's like a good talent. It's not useful. But
Hidden talents are rarely useful talents.
Yeah,
like if it was useful, it wouldn't be hidden, right?
That's right.
I personally, all my talents, these two girls know. So I don't have any hidden talents that no one knows, but I have talents that most people don't know. Like I can like flare my toes so I can grab things with my feet.
A grappling hook.
Yeah, just pick it up and like don't even have to bend over. It's perfect.
Just hands.
See that talent useful.
That is useful. Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Let me answer this cool. I usually don't answer this question, but let me answer this. I know how to tiptoe for like a long period of time. I used to do that a lot when I was younger. I don't know if I'm good at it now, but
you can reach more things. That's useful. Like if you could be on your tippy toes longer, you can reach longer.
That's true. I mean, I'm already tall, but I ain't that tall. I guess it's kind of work. So now let's talk about y'all life journey. So how was y'all growing up? I'm gonna start with Jessica, then Saunya, and then Dawn.
Okay, I'll try to go through this quick. So like for me,
we got time.
Yeah. No, so for me, my mom was a teen mom, married my dad right away, and then they divorced right away, like after a year. So I was always kind of going between two homes, and I have like siblings on both sides, always, half siblings, and it was just kind of a lot of it was tumultuous. Like it was very, you didn't really have a home, so it took like a long time to find that like home feeling. Like I didn't really have friends because I was constantly moving, so Dawn and Saunya are like my first like really close friends. So yeah, like growing up, I guess it was just very just up a hilly all the time until now it's awesome, but
Nice. All right, Saunya.
So Dawn and I actually grew up together, practically like sisters. We were always at each other's house. So our story will be pretty similar, but in my home, we grew up very poor. So I learned to be very resourceful in surviving. My mom was a single mom. My father passed away when I was very young. So she raised us on her own. That made that she had to be out of the house a lot. So really my older brother raised me. So it's been my brother who raised me, and I don't make friends really easy. So Dawn Marie has been my like main friend for 30 years. And then we met Jessica. So then Jessica is
they adopted me.
My main friend. Yeah. So it's growing up just was a struggle. But now I know I'm stronger for it. I feel like it's
nice. And what about you, Dawn?
Just like Saunya said, we grew up pretty close. So she became my family, essentially. I didn't have a very big family. I lived with my mother and my grandmother. My father passed away when I was about 3. I didn't really get to know him much. Again, we were low income. We didn't have a whole lot. But what we did have, we would share with like Saunya and her sister. Alcoholics ran in my family, mental health ran in my family, undiagnosed, by the way. So it was a lot, but it was grateful to have Saunya as like a sister from another mister.
That's right.
And I'm not gonna lie, I love stories like that, with sisterhood and stuff like that. I love that. We're gonna dive more into that. Y'all already touched a little bit, but we're gonna dive more into that. But how all that y'all been through made y'all the person y'all today?
So growing up again, like we didn't have much. So my mom also let people who needed homes to stay in to just stay at our home. Like if you needed a place to stay, my mom was like, just stay at our house. And I feel like she just like helping people. I feel like I do that now. I became a social worker to like help others. And that's just where I find my passion. I feel like I learned that growing up, that if someone needs your help, you help them. And that's how I feel. One of the most positive things my mother could have taught me was helping others is fruitful. It's like feeds your soul.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I guess I learned from my past to listen to my kids. It was really important that my mom listened to me, and I had a really close relationship with her. Also, I guess what I've also adapted is that accepting change is more easier for me because I watched my mom accept changes. Like she grew up in in the 50s and 60s, right? So, but she was the most loving person ever, and she just accepted everyone for who they were. And I learned that as well.
Nice. Amazing. Jessica.
For me, it's just so those parents and stuff I talked about, I don't talk to them anymore. I don't talk to really anyone in my family anymore. So for me, I've decided, like, as a person, I take all of what they do that I don't find acceptable and do the opposite. So, and I feel like that's made me a better parent, that's made me a better friend, that's made me a better person, because I feel like trying to like separate myself from them has given me empathy. So I feel like how I grew up made me a much more empathetic person because I know how lonely people can be. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, that's amazing. So you already touched this a little bit about how y'all met. So how did all y'all met, and how long were y'all friends?
Okay, once upon a time, Dawn Marie was actually friends with my younger sister. And somehow I just I went to get them from the park. I don't know what happened, but somehow Dawn Marie was like, hey, Saunya's cooler. And then I haven't shaken her since. So she's just, we've been friends ever since that. Just through all of our life. I was a teen mom, and Dawn Marie helped parent my first child with me. She was like, whenever I needed a break, she was there to help me do schoolwork. She'd go play with my little one so I could do that. And then 20 years after that, Jessica came to my house.
Well, it's okay, but I met Dawn first.
You did.
I met Dawn first.
Dawn Marie's
I am the glue.
Okay, me and Dawn were getting married the same year. Okay, this is 2019. We're getting married the same year. Someone started like wives, like a future wives Facebook group.
I did that one.
That you started it? I didn't know you started it. Yeah, and it was like all people getting married like could join, and we would like go to dinner and stuff and talk about our weddings. I don't know, whatever it is we were doing. And me and Dawn just like clicked more. And then during a stay, we were picking up stag and dough stuff from Saunya's house. And then my wedding, people like that family I was talking about weren't like showing up and stuff, and like last minute canceling. So I asked Saunya to come to my wedding even though we weren't even close.
Yeah.
And then we became friends.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'll come eat. Like that was, who's not gonna get free food? Yeah. Like if you need a seat filler, send me an invitation. I'll go to your wedding.
I definitely keep that in mind when I'm with it. But one thing that I like about your show is the friendship that y'all have. So that's why I started listening to your show. But before we dive more deep into the show, what made y'all want to start a podcast? And what made y'all want to go that route?
So Jessica's nominated me to talk about this. So
It was your idea.
they say it's my idea, but I think it was like we talked about it for a long time. Like we're like, oh, we're hilarious. People should listen to us. So like, and then just one time, Jessica and I were out for dinner with our husbands and drinking. We're like, oh my gosh, we're so funny. We should make this happen. And, I don't know if our husbands thought we were funny, but we thought we were funny. And I was just like, you know what? People do podcasts all the time. Let's just start a podcast. And then Jessica's like, yes, get on it. And then we messaged Dawn Marie, and Jessica's like, we'll record. Like Jessica just planned this whole thing out. Like the first like month, Jessica was like a drill sergeant, which was like really
Okay,
important.
it wasn't that bad.
It was that bad. It really was. But
We call her
I
bossy
accept it.
Jessica. No. But it was really good because like that cheerleaderness was like really important, because like I always shoot out ideas all the time. I'm like, let's do this. But then like Jessica, like being a hype man was like amazing. Like it really set the mood like for how our show will be. And we just like recorded a few, and then we worked together on what we want to name it. Dawn Marie came up with the name because she's like, I don't like what you came up with.
You said something drinkers or drink yards.
Drunkards.
Drunkards. And I was like, that sounds so like silly, like so childish. And I was like, and we're women, we should sound feminine. And that's when I came up with Lushes, because that kind of, sounded feminine.
More feminine, yeah.
We're so feminine.
Yeah.
Okay. We tend to start, sometimes I start a project and it doesn't we don't keep up with it. So for me, it was like, we had to record at least 3 episodes before I would even release one. Like I needed to show we were committed. That was all.
Well, we did like, I think 2 months worth of episodes before we aired them. Like we were recording for a while.
I needed to make sure.
All right, so so the show is Opinionated Lashes. So the idea, I know, so you may say Dawn came up with the names and stuff.
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
So how the idea came together? Sorry.
Yeah. Then that's exactly just at a bar, not even bar. We just out for dinner. We just got wasted. And then we're like, let's do this, and we did. But like, yeah, we've been talking about it for a while before. Because whenever we get together, we're like, we're hilarious. And like people should think we're hilarious too. I'm sure they do. Everyone says so.
Okay, but let's be honest. Like when we were at Montana's and we're like brainstorming and stuff like that, the bartenders are laughing at us.
Exactly. They
like
think we're great.
the restaurant patrons are laughing. So it's not just us that thought we were funny.
That's
like
right.
We were getting validation. So we just thought, maybe we should just bring it to the internet.
That's right. But I feel like those people at Montana's was way more supportive than like
than some of the people on the internet. I agree.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, so I started listening to y'all show on Good Pod. I don't remember what episode it was. I didn't really see one of your episodes one time, and I think I get see what the title that y'all had. I was like, let me
That's all Jessica.
I'm like, let me check the show out. Then I thought listen to it. I'm like, okay, this show is really good. So I thought I listened to like 3 episodes. I was just blinking one to the left. So like, you know what? I'm gonna add it to my subscription, because when I like a show, after 3 episodes, I usually add to my subscription and try to listen to that as much as I can. So
thank you.
We appreciated it
much.
So much.
Yeah, so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I know these days it's hard, because I do listen to a lot of shows now, but I do enjoy your show. And y'all really make me laugh, and I love, like I said, I love the sisterhood.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I love y'all silly. And I love that y'all silliness too, because that's what drew me in as well. So I love that. I love your show. So keep doing it.
Thank you. It's
Thank
good.
you.
It's good to hear the validation.
Yeah, and we have a lot of fun doing it.
Yes.
It's also became like an excuse to hang out with one another. Again, during like it was like COVID, and I moved away. So it's really hard to like get together. But now we have like a reason, an excuse to like stick to our friendship schedule. And I like it's like always have like a crazy week, and it's so great to be like, I'm talking to my friends, like to unwind at the end of the week. And it's just like, like I needed that.
But we talk to each other every day on Messenger. Like
yeah, we do.
We're constantly in touch.
It's
Like,
different.
there's no break.
You know what crazy? Crazy. So I have another podcast show I do with my friends, and we pretty much do the same thing. We keep in touch every day. Every time we do, we hit a messenger, and every time we do an episode and stuff like that, because everybody's not in the same place no more. So we bring. So I can relate. I could relate.
Yeah. It's needed, I think, to just like stay in touch with your community. Like even if your community's online, it's really important to reach out as much as possible.
And people have so much going on nowadays. Like people are so busy. So like I feel like scheduling that time, it makes it like easier to commit to it instead of being like, what day are you free? Yeah. Oh, I don't know. Thursday? Oh, I have to work
And then
Thursday.
10 years
What day are
later,
you
we'll
free?
talk to
Yeah,
you.
like that doesn't work. But we know every Friday at 9 where we are.
That's right.
know?
We're together.
That's true. That's true. But let my listeners know, where can they listen to your show?
Everywhere.
We're everywhere. We're like the plague.
Yeah. Anywhere you listen to your podcast, you can listen to us. And also YouTube, we have we post all of our unedited stuff, so you can compare the two. So Jessica, when you listen to our episodes, Jessica edits so much. Like she makes everything sound amazing. And then you can see when you watch our YouTube that like it's a total like poop show. Like it's just like
it's only because we have like dogs barking, kids banging, technical difficulties.
Yeah, but it's like
sometimes we say a lot of you know.
Yes.
I can relate.
Yeah.
But I listen to both. I listen and watch the show. So yeah. So keep doing your thing. Y'all doing amazing. Y'all doing amazing. Keep doing your thing.
Yeah.
Thank you. See, we're doing something right.
Yay.
You are stroking Jessica's ego right now. She loves the praise. So just keep going.
I have a praise thing.
I mean, I like to give people the respect that they deserve. So y'all doing it.
Thank you so much.
Keep doing it. But y'all also have a spinoff show called Book and Booze. Where did that come from? Where did that came from?
That would be me. So, like Jessica and Saunya said, they started off Opinionated Lushes. They wrote me in. They're like, "You're joining us," and I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then I'm just background person there. I don't really do much. I drink with them and I'll like do little quips, but not much. And so one day I was like, I want to contribute. Like I want my own little offering. And my TikTok is really big. Well, not really big, but it's
huge. I think it's amazing. I have 200 people. You have 13,000.
14,000.
14,000.
See, it's gone up. Yeah. So I think that's big. I've been on like 200 people for like 3 years. So like I think that's great.
No, that's good. I only got like 600 people on TikTok. That's good. That's good.
Yeah.
So my TikTok, my 14.1K followers are mostly authors and readers. And I was like, it would be really cool if I could bring indie authors onto our show. And so it gives them exposure, it gives us an extra show. That's how we came about.
That's dope. I didn't get you this spinoff show yet, but I definitely going to listen to that one as well. But like I said, keep doing your thing. Y'all doing amazing things right now. Keep doing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So our Books and Booze is once a week we have an indie author come and they talk about themselves, their books, any other projects. And then we play a drinking game. They give us drinking words and then they read a chapter from their book. And every time they say a word, we drink. So it's a lot of fun.
So you get to like hear a snippet of the author at the same time. So if you like their work, then you get all the links to like find where they are. So yeah.
That's dope. I got y'all coming up on the Q&A, so I got you. So what been your biggest challenge as a podcaster?
Marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, like
that's a steady audience, like having repeat listeners too, like
just like the discoverability, just like it's like you don't know what to do. Like, do I do Twitter? Do I TikTok? Do I YouTube Shorts now? Like I don't know.
It's changing all the time. We've done flyers and like
QR codes. We've been to Comic-Con in Toronto. Like we've been everywhere. Just trying to get our name out, but
we've only been around for a year. So
true.
I am optimistic that eventually we'll get like more and more pickup. But as a first year podcast, I think we've been doing really great, but I would just like more marketing. Like marketing still has been our hardest hurdle in podcasting, because I think we have a great sound. I think we have a great show. It's just the getting out there, getting our name out there is, I think, the most, if we had to pick the most difficult, I think that would definitely be the most difficult.
Yeah. And I'm not gonna lie, I've been around for 4 years now doing podcasting, and it's still hard for me too. Yeah, it is still hard for me. So marketing, especially the audience part too. I agree with the audience, like the repeated audience. That's definitely been like the hardest for me as well. But like I said, to keep working hard, be consistent, and y'all definitely gonna get up there. Y'all definitely gonna keep going. Don't give up.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is. Like, it's just staying consistent. I keep hoping that because we have not taken a break, like we have released every Friday since we released the first episode. We have not missed a week. So I would keep hoping. I'm like, maybe because we're so consistent, the listeners will like be like, like I'll listen to them and like I'll binge them or I'll something, or at least I know what to expect or something. I keep hoping anyway. Every once in a while we do get a day where someone downloads our entire catalog and it makes my life.
We're like, oh my gosh.
We also have a super fan.
We do. Stephanie.
Yes.
I love her.
Stephanie. Yeah. She an author, Dawn? Was she an author?
Yes, she is.
Yeah.
In
Stephanie
the UK.
Hurst. Yeah.
She's our VIP Patreon, our only one. And she's hung in there for like 4 months. So thank you, Stephanie.
Nice. Yeah.
That's dope. But first thing first, shout out to y'all for not taking breaks. That's amazing. Even though I do a lot, even I took breaks. So y'all did not take no break. Wow.
We record 3 times a week: Thursday, Friday, Saturdays. Books and Booze is Thursday. Wait, no. Our Patreon stuff is Thursdays. Our regular episodes Fridays. Saturdays with Books and Booze. And we do that like every week, unless one of us is unavailable, and then we find a way to schedule something else in.
Yeah, and we try to bank episodes and like
just in case. You never know. Yeah.
Well, this summer we're gonna take a little vacation for Books and Booze, and just go back down to like 1 or 2 recording sessions, and just give us a little bit of that vacation time. Because we have 3 anniversaries coming up. Each of us all got married in the summer. We gotta celebrate that. So
True.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, keep working hard. Y'all doing amazing for real. Y'all are really doing amazing. Y'all take no break. That's wow. I need to be like y'all now, because I do record 3 times, sometimes 3 times a week, depends. But yeah, that's amazing for real.
Who knows? Maybe by 4 years we'll start taking more breaks. Like we're still babies. It's all still new to us. So
yeah. So if y'all could have anybody on your show, like a dream guest, who would that dream guest be? Y'all could pick between 1 to 3 each.
I'm gonna pick anybody who wants to come to our show and they think like we really haven't had many guests. We've had Epilepsy Alliance of Canada, the people who run that, which was amazing.
We've had them on twice.
So like that, those were great guests to have, because they're just trying to get their message out, and where there's just trying to get some funding for epilepsy programs, there's like none. So it was great to try and help with that, even with our such a small audience. It was great that we could even help a little. But I would like anybody who thinks they would like just vibe well with us on our show. Like that would be like a dream guest, is just somebody who thinks they'd be great on our show and has a headset and mic, because that's important too.
Oh my gosh, yes.
No, that is important. I agree, that is important. And what about you, Jessica and Dawn? Do y'all have any dream guests?
Okay, I have 3. Some of these are Canadian specific, but I will give a little context. First is Justin Trudeau. So I would very much like the Prime Minister of Canada on my podcast because I have questions. The next would be Doug Ford. He's the MP of Ontario who's trying to privatize our healthcare. Doug Ford, I would also like to ask you some questions. And then number 3 is my dad.
Because you'd like to
I would also like to ask you some questions.
Oh, wow.
Those are my 3.
Instant choices. Instant choices.
For me, and I don't want to meet my idols, so that's like for sure not happening. I have an image of them in my head, and I don't want to ruin that. However, we always talk about this, and the girls want Daniel Radcliffe on there.
Yes,
so
Daniel Radcliffe. He's our bonus guest. Yeah.
So I nominate him. That's who I want on our podcast.
Yes, we have a whole. If you listen to the dinner party episode, we talk about how our dream is to have Daniel Radcliffe act as all of our favorite dinner party guests. Like he has to play each and every one because Daniel Radcliffe can act as anyone.
He can play any role.
He can play
like,
any
it's
character.
insane.
Doesn't matter. He can play it. I'm sure. We'll figure it out.
Those are instant guesses, and Daniel Radcliffe cool. He cool. But also, you know what? I want to add myself to this. I want to come to your show in the future. So we're gonna make that happen.
Yes, please do.
Yeah, I'm gonna get out of my shyness and I'm gonna come on your show.
Yeah,
That'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
We already have such a great dynamic going on. So
I try. do more work than need done. But I think yeah for that. I think yeah. So what is the goal for your podcast show, and what message do you want listeners to get out of your show?
I don't know if we all have the same goals or message we want. Do we?
My goal, I think just to get 100 subscribers on YouTube. Like we're at 93. So like the goal is just 100. But like what our like big thing is whatever happens on our show happens, and we're like excited, like super giddy when anything happens. But we do have like another project happening in September, a new kind of like little segment show we're gonna add. We don't have, I forget what the name is, but something about booze and ladders or something like that. I forget what we landed on, but so we're gonna play some board games over the summer, and then we're gonna talk about it. So we're gonna have like a little board game review segment, a couple episodes of that starting in September, and then Books and Booze will happen again in September.
I think we called it Shots and Ladders instead of Snakes and Ladders.
Shots and Ladders, yeah, maybe like that.
That sounds like something we'd come up with.
yeah, but that's something, a project that eventually. But for goals, I think we're happy as long as we can keep recording all the time. That's a good goal. We have talked about maybe sending some emails to try and get sponsorship. Like that's something that might happen over the summer that we'll try to do. I think that's
I mean, for like yeah, those are like our goals. I have a political agenda.
You have a political agenda? Okay.
So for me, like so yeah, I have like a sociology background and that kind of stuff. That's one reason I want the Prime Minister. I'd love for him to come on our podcast. My goals are the same. It's just like constant growth. Even if the growth is small, any growth is growth. It's still growth.
Yes. Yeah.
But also when it comes to like message for the show, we deem ourselves a comedy podcast, of course, but also a society and culture, because we tend to talk about our lived experiences. We've talked about our upbringings. We've talked about these things. We talk about politics. We talk about, in a fun, lighthearted manner while drinking. Like
the best we can. Yeah.
Yeah. If you can't cry about it. So like, even we've had older men that tend to lean more away from us politically, listen to us and like our show. So, I'm always hoping that maybe we're getting the gears turning a little bit and getting them thinking a little more about like just what's kind of going on in society, I guess.
In the world.
Yeah. So like the message is just like care about others.
Yeah,
you know,
I guess,
like...
yeah, there would be if there's a message, it would be, yeah.
That's definitely a good message. And I like the topic y'all do talk about on your shows, because it could be serious one day, it could be silly the next day, it could be instant another day. And so I love it because your show is very unpredictable. So I don't know what to expect about your show, but I like it though. I like it though.
No, that's the biggest compliment you could have given us.
Yeah, that's like, yeah, you're unpredictable, but it's great.
Yeah, but you know, like I said, keep doing your thing. Y'all doing an amazing thing. Oh, yeah, Dawn, did you have an answer?
I just want it to stay fun and keep being friends. That's it. Like
That's
as long as we're always friends and it's always fun, that's all I want.
So, as long as we don't break up, right? Like
Yeah.
that.
Well,
I do not want the band to break up.
We disagree about things on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like we're still best friends. Like, see,
That's right.
see? It's because we don't disagree on fundamental human rights.
You're right.
That's
Yeah,
right. So like
that's the important ones.
yeah. So we're
Like,
like
we'll
there on
disagree,
that
like,
level.
They love their video games and board games, and meanwhile I can't game. I don't like gaming, but I'll love to read and they love to read. We just read different genres. I like dark romance. Jessica likes thrillers. Saunya likes sci-fi and fantasy. Like we're different but the same.
Yeah. That's true. It's true. And that's what I love the dynamic. So you know, that's why I keep listening to y'all. That's why I keep listening to y'all. Keep doing your thing. All right, so this time to get a little serious. So I believe it was Saunya that somebody hit me up and said that y'all was speaking about mental health.
Mental health, yes. It's really big in all of our homes. And it's not talked about enough. I think too many people are quiet about it. So I try to talk about it as much as possible. Like I'll tell anybody who will listen everything that's going on with my home, so they know that they're not alone. Like and sometimes that's like something that just sets somebody off the edge, right? They're just like, I'm in this alone, I'm by myself, I can't believe I'm going through this, like there's nobody else like this. But then if like you just listen to somebody else, like, hey, I'm going through the same thing, and that can really like kind of like bond each other, somebody, like it's a little trauma bonding, but it's it really can help somebody stay alive.
Or it's not talked about properly. Like,
yes, that,
you know, like that's like how many people are like, oh my god, I'm so OCD. Like, you know, like it's like, okay, cool, like we understand, you know what those letters mean, but you don't know what like that is.
So I have OCD, and it's not the fun kind where you get to keep your house clean. It's also, a lot of people think it's like when you like have to wash your hands all the time. Mine is like intrusive thoughts OCD. So I have general anxiety disorder as well, where I always think the worst thing is happening. I'm always visualizing the people I care about, terrible things happening to them all day. I can't turn it off a lot of the times. And then when my brain kind of goes quiet, the OCD is, if you don't think these terrible thoughts, those bad things are actually going to happen. So when I'm not thinking these things are happening, my brain is like, if you don't think these things, you're going to hurt your family. Like because of you, there's something going to happen. So it's not always organizing things by color. Like that can be a side effect, but that's like minor. Like,
but even when that's the OCD symptom, say cleaning is your OCD symptom, you're generally cleaning until your hands are bleeding.
Yeah,
it's like, it's not just having a tidy house. If you're organizing everything, it's knowing that you have to go and buy that thing, or you will not be able to sleep that night if you don't have a complete set. Like it's, you know, it just that idea of like it just being, oh yeah, the like keeping a house tidy, it's like, no, like there's always like additional, like it's worse than that, or else you would diagnosis, I guess. And like that's
it's impulsive. You can't stop it. That you can stop cleaning your house. Like that's if you can stop cleaning your house, you don't have OCD. And I think people saying it all the time is desensitizing the importance of the mental health, dealing with that illness. Like you should be aware of it, but like saying like, oh, it just takes the seriousness away from somebody who does have it.
Yes.
And then like they'll be like, oh, OCD is nothing because like you're just cleaning your house, but like it's not nothing. Sometimes you can't leave your house because of your OCD. It's something that should be taken more seriously and more empathetically, like just flinging words around. It's like that for everything on TikTok right now. You have autism, if this, your ADHD, this, like it's such a toxic. It's fun. We all watch it anyway, but it's such a toxic environment for people with mental health struggles because there's these people living their best life with these, they think, the mental health, when really that's not how it is. It's very dark most of the time. It's not as bright, fun, little TikToky, dancey kind of thing. It's really struggling to wake up in the morning. It's struggling to get dressed. It's sometimes you can't brush your teeth, and that's like something easy, like that's a habit you formed your whole life. And people on social media like making it seem that you should be able to do these things, and then it's making other people say, oh, that's just in your head, or like if this person can make fun of it and be all lighthearted about it, you should be able to too. And I think it just makes it blanket statement of what these illnesses look like when they're all different. Like it's every person with anxiety is different anxiety. It doesn't matter. Like you can say like I have anxiety too, but your anxiety is completely different, and like undermining someone else's illness because you have the same one is not helpful. It's not how you help others. But like empathizing is different. You're like, oh, like I have anxiety too, but how can we help each other? Like that's a different approach than saying like, oh, I have to line up blocks. I don't know what people are lining up. That's just an example. I was just I had to make sure everything's yellow.
Yeah.
Well, to go on the topic, I do deal with general anxiety. I was diagnosed with it during the pandemic because I started getting like, anxiety attacks and panic attacks. And ever since then, I haven't really been the same. But I know for a fact that, doing this show helped me to really open up about it and help others about it too. And, that's why I was thankful that you brought the topic too, because it is an important topic to talk about. I didn't have any other guests that come on the show and talk about it. So thank God for sharing this topic. Like, this is something everybody do need to talk about. So,
Yeah.
Well, since we kind of, on the topic, like, so why is mental health so important, and what have been the biggest challenge dealing with mental health?
Well,
Who wants to go first?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, obviously mental health is important, just, for basic survival when your mental health gets really bad. But when it comes to like the biggest challenge dealing with mental health, I don't want to get all like, but I mean, society is depressing. How are you not supposed to be depressed? Society is anxiety inducing. How are you not supposed to be anxious? And then on top of that, you have the inaccessible healthcare system that isn't even equipped to deal with these mental health issues that are obviously going to exacerbate due to issues like the pandemic. And like, Ontario, Canada is starting to privatize their healthcare. So a lot of our healthcare is becoming more and more inaccessible. And then if you can't even get proper diagnoses, how are you going to get proper medications? How are you going to get proper treatment? Like there is a mass like a group of like millennials nowadays that are realizing they're autistic because they had autistic children, because their diagnoses were missed, and now they're struggling while also dealing with children that are struggling, and there is no help there. And if you're like having to deal with all these issues on your own because society values individualism, how are you going to build that community, build that support system, build that? Like, it doesn't exist. So like the biggest challenge is that everyone's mental health is like in the toilet at this point. And besides people that can access the resources, aka really wealthy people. So it's like, what do we do if we live in a system that is causing this and we can't change the system? So that is my biggest challenge.
Agree. Dawn.
So for me, I was recently diagnosed with type 2 bipolar disorder. I've always had depression running with me since I was 17. And then my mom had severe anxiety where she couldn't leave the house. She was just not diagnosed though. Like she just refused to get help. And it got bad. So mental health is huge for me. Also, my son is autistic, and that was a whole other thing too. All of us have children with that are on the spectrum. So yeah, mental health is very important to us as well. Yeah, I don't know what else to say to that.
Yeah.
Well, it's just like
That's good, yeah.
what is the point of living this life if living this life is miserable? You know what I mean? It's like as humans, we're constantly, it's like, you know, we're looking for meaning. And it's like the system literally tells you, like, we can't buy a house. I mean, I bought a house years ago, so I was able to. But like, if I had to buy a house right now, with the money I make right now, could not afford it. I could not have if I had waited 2 years to buy a house, I would not have been able to afford it. So it's like if you're paying rent until you're 70 years old, like what is life? You know?
Yeah.
And it's like that's what mental health is. It's like having to have hope, I guess.
Yeah, it is. It's like tricking your brain. That's what you have to do, right? You're just all this like
Fake it till you
despair
make
stuff.
it.
Yeah. So like there's 6 people who live in our home, and all of our mental health is different. So that's a fun wild ride. But the funny thing is that I have a little bit of all of it that my kids have. So my youngest, they have general anxiety disorder, and they were diagnosed at 7. That's which I went undiagnosed till I was like 25. But we were able to find a pediatrician that took it seriously. Because like we had to go to the hospital like every day just so that they could just get a checkup so they could feel better. Like they just thought they were dying every day. But then medication. So a lot of people don't want their kids on medication because of all the stigma around medication. But Medicaid, wonderful. It was a month later that, like, because it takes a while, but then they were back to their old self. Like they were playing in their room by themselves. Their imaginative play again. They were able to go to school again. It was a wonderful to see my child back to who they were before their illness took effect. And that is wonderful. My oldest, she has anxiety and depression, dual diagnosis, and getting medication for that was hard. A lot of the time, so it was, because she was 16 when we were getting her diagnosed. A lot of people just wait until she's an adult, but that wasn't helpful at all. Like we saw 8 different doctors before someone said, this is a chemical imbalance, we need to get you on medication. So it's, even when you have access to healthcare, you're still getting just pushed around. They're just like, you're somebody else's problem, you're someone else's problem, which as a parent can affect your mental health and just worrying about your kids. And then go.
I was just gonna say that point about like children being on medication. I get that all the time. And I always have to remind people, my son has epilepsy. What would you have him do? He's been on medication for it since he was 8. And the medication he is on is used to deal with bipolar as well. So if he was a bipolar child, he'd be on the same medication. Now, is it bad for him? Like what? Who's doing this risk analysis here when you judge a parent?
Right? Yeah.
Are you a doctor?
Are
you
so judgy?
Yeah. It's like, it's a medical decision. Like, stop judging people for their medical decisions they're making with a medical professional. It's not like the parents just walking in being like, give my kid this medication. That's right. That's not how that works. Unless
the
stuff's
expensive.
Well, yeah, and I was gonna say, unless the parent wants that medication, for themselves, generally, like they're not getting it for their kid just for the fun of it. It's like,
it's
so long for a diagnosis, for treatment. Like, why do you think that this is not the first option?
Yeah, no, it's not. And like, I just say, like, and there's adults who won't take medication because of the stigma around it. I'm like, you wouldn't tell a diabetic not to take insulin. This is the same thing. Your brain, so instead of a pancreas not producing the right insulin, your brain is not producing the right chemicals. So you need the medication to help that. They're the same thing. I don't know what happened along the line where someone said mental health isn't real. Let's just pretend it's not happening. But we're still trying to deal with that now.
There's still older people that think therapy has a stigma.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's like, I've been in therapy since I was 7 years old. What are you talking about? It's been 20 years. Go to therapy. Like,
that's right. Yeah. Like, even if you're just having a bad day, go to therapy. Like, it's so needed.
And I'm not gonna lie, when I was, diagnosed with anxiety and dealing with the pandemic and stuff like that, I did with the therapy, and it helped me a lot. So I do recommend, everybody going to therapy, and let's continue to talk about it, because this is a very important topic, and we all need to talk about it and need to share it with everybody, because you didn't never know who somebody else is going through. So if we open up about it, we can help more people.
If you're mentally healthy, go to therapy.
Yeah, just get tools.
Go to therapy.
Yeah.
Like, it's like taking a vitamin. Like, to help your immune system. Like, sick people don't take vitamins, but they do it to like prevent sickness. Just go to therapy. Like, they're not diagnosing you or nothing. They just want to talk.
Yeah. No, I think it's great for everyone to be in therapy, or even just like they should, like, when you're in school and you're doing like health class, they should have these building blocks starting young, like tools on how to like self-soothe and how to have healthy relationships, and what to do when you're starting to go down in a darker hole, like what you can do to prevent just going right. You shouldn't wait until it's too late. Then like it takes a lot longer to climb out of the hole than it is to prevent getting in it. If you prevent, that's where you want. Prevention is key. When you're starting to feel low, seek help. It's by the time you're like in the pits, it's such a struggle to get out. It's even with all the supports you can get, it's still so hard to climb out of this funk, I guess we can call it. It's just goop. It's too hard. And it takes a long time, like weeks, months. Like, it's not something that's going to go away. It's like a broken bone, right? And then if it doesn't set right, you got to break it and start over. Like, you got to make sure you have the tools right from the start. So even if you're healthy mentally, go to therapy.
Exactly. Go to therapy. And
I agree. I agree 100%. I agree 100%. And I just want to say thank y'all for sharing that, because you all need to hear it. Thank y'all for sharing like y'all mental health experiences. It really thank y'all for that, for real. But of course, not only we all dealing about the health, we all dealing with the pandemic as well. So how did the pandemic affect you, and what did you learn from it?
We talked about this.
Okay. For the pandemic, for me, I enjoyed the quarantine because I liked being inside and not having to see people. That was I was already homeschooling my kids due to the poor supports in public education at this point. So I was already home all the time. I work from home. My husband works from home. So for us, a lot of stuff didn't change except our frequency of like going out places. So it wasn't so bad. But what I learned that the average person isn't as smart as I hoped they were.
Yeah.
That's what I learned. I was disappointed. I was very disappointed. I was shocked even. But that is and that's why I continue to learn, actually. That continues to this day. So it makes me kind of sad a little bit. I thought people were smarter, I guess.
It just makes me so mad. Like, it just because how it could have been, it wouldn't have blown up as big as it did, as quickly as it did, if people took it seriously right from the beginning. yeah, that's lots of positives. Was when I went to Walmart, only 30 people were allowed in the store. So that was wonderful. I myself am on the spectrum, autism spectrum. My husband's on the autism spectrum. So when there's less people around, that's the best for us. Like it's quiet. You can shop without being stressed. It was like the most peaceful time of our lives. We didn't go out anywhere. Like that's not we don't really go to clubs or something. That's not like something that's important to us. So we didn't feel like we missed out on anything, like festivals. We didn't miss out because that's not us. But we did, whenever I'd walk down the street, there wasn't that many cars or anything. It was very calm. It was very good for my soul, my psyche, very important. It was like a nice reset, I think. But again, it was frustrating because throughout history, there have been pandemics, and we've known that, like the Spanish flu, if you get it, it really affects not only your long-term health, but it also affects like your genetics. Like your children end up being sicker for it afterwards, and then the next generation, right? Like it really messes up with your genes. And like with a lot of illnesses too, whatever, chickenpox afterwards, right? Then you get shingles, and that's not good. So what's frustrating is that we know that these illnesses can cause long-term effects, not even just killing people. Like that's, so many people died, but the effects it has on others, and how people didn't care. Like, oh, I don't care if I get this old lady sick. Like I'm just worrying about myself, and I don't want to be inside. So like that's like the most frustrating, is how people didn't care about others. Like, cause I just can't fathom, like I care about people all the time. I don't even like being around people, but I care about them. It's frustrating when I am putting all this energy into caring about your grandma, but you don't care about your grandma. So like, it was disappointing and frustrating because we have this knowledge and people chose to ignore it or forget it or just be ignorant about it. And
well, the funny part is there's always like a counter reaction to everything that's ever happened in human history. So like if you go back to the Spanish flu, there's literal like black and white hand-drawn posters of like not wearing a mask or like anti-vax, like when the flu shot came out. Like those exist. Like I love watching like old commercials of when like seatbelt laws became a thing.
Oh my gosh,
like the 70s and stuff, because they're all like, no, I got a doctor's note, I don't have to wear it. And I'm like, oh my god, like these are the same people. These are the same people's kids, actually. I bet you from those commercials you could do like a lineage right to the people not wearing masks. And I say that like Saunya, you know as well, like having a high-risk child and your own family members like refusing to like don't
even care.
It's like, I told you, like my child is medically fragile and you can't wear a mask, like because you can't breathe. Like,
would you could, but
get out of here with that. Like I don't care.
Yeah, we just didn't let people come over. Like my family all hung out together. I was like, nope. My husband's family all hung out together. I'm like, sorry, like I'm like, it's sad like you can't hang out with your grandkids right now, but you are out not being vaccinated. So like if that's your life, that's your right, but it's my right to protect my kids, and I'm sorry that's not good enough for you, but I don't know, tough titties. That's it.
And did you hear about the convoy in Canada with all the trucks? Did you hear about that, Ken?
No, I don't think so.
No, okay. We had a convoy, which was like a bunch of Canadian truckers. It did make American news. That's why I asked. And they went to Parliament Hill to honk for like 21 days or something. Like, was it 3.5 weeks?
It was insane how long they let it go on.
They just honked the cops did nothing. The city did nothing. And they were protesting like anti-vax, anti-mandates, all this stuff. But they were also flying like American flags for some reason. There was like one guy flying
Trump
like
2024. That
yeah,
was
there was
Right,
like a
like-
lot of racist imagery.
oh.
You know, it was really bad and it went on way too long, which is why I dug for it. I have questions if you want to come on my podcast. But my stepdad was there as a trucker leading one of the convoy trips. So
Oh wow.
that was fun. So now I just bully him on TikTok. He keeps getting his account banned. I keep finding it. I just keep bullying
Keep finding
him.
the new one. Yeah.
Yeah. He's
it's-
my stepdad. I'm allowed to bully him.
That's
Why
right.
not?
And which was like the most hilarious part of this protest is that mandates were already scheduled to be lifted.
They weren't even real mandates.
They're not.
Like,
No, people
like
didn't.
the grocery stores were open. Like you could drive anywhere. Like it was crap.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of temper tantrums, pretty much. It was like part of the convoy is they're known to be racist individuals. When there was indigenous people trying to protest more like the pipeline, like gas going through their line, like their lands, the very little crappy lands that they get to get then these convoy people, these truckers were like, we'll run them over. Like it was very disgusting people, publicly racist, and the amount of people that just blindly followed them was
They had an indigenous drum circle at the convoy, but it was all white people.
yeah, it was
Didn't they steal the
It
drum
was.
too?
There wasn't
Yeah,
an
yeah, it was-
indigenous person in sight. It was so bad. Like
And they stole that drum. That
people
was the
forget-
worst part.
Canada is not we're not nice. Like that's a myth. And so like when it's just it affects my mental health. That's what I'm saying.
That's right,
Like, this is why I have
yeah.
a podcast so I can rant about these things because it happens every week.
yeah. I feel it does help our mental health. The way we can like have fun and like rant every week. I feel like that really, that's why I say like, oh, I needed it. But because like I really needed to like complain about something in a fun way. So like that's again, like it really is helpful. Like that's my therapy.
And I agree with that. The podcast helped me too, so I agree with that. And Dawn, can you add? You want to add to this question?
I just okay. So the oh my goodness, I can't think. No, the pandemic.
Yeah, sorry. The pandemic is what we're talking
I felt
about.
the healthiest
Mm.
at the pandemic because my kids weren't going out and getting sick and bringing it home to me.
Mm.
So for that year and a half, I was the healthiest I've ever been. Didn't have to see a doctor, nothing. I was great. And then my kids start going out, and that's when everything was lifted again. That's when I got COVID. That's when I got sick. And then I keep getting it now. And I liked being in my own bubble. I didn't, and my circle got smaller. I don't talk to the same people as I used to. Literally, the people I talk to are on this podcast with me. I don't talk to a lot of family members. And you'd think that would hurt my mental health, but it actually set me boundaries on who I appreciate and who weren't good for me.
Yeah.
So it helped a lot, actually. We were very fortunate also that my husband got to work through the pandemic, whereas a lot of people didn't. So we were very fortunate on that part, but a lot of people weren't, and I feel for them. That is what upset me about the pandemic, is a lot of people.
The issue wasn't their responsibility. It was the government
I know.
and the corporation's responsibility, and that makes me hurt for them because it's like, dude,
Yeah.
you should have been taken care of. You
Yeah.
should have been taken care of. That's why you get a job, to be taken. Like, see, I get mad. Oh my gosh,
Yeah. But the pandemic was really terrible time. And you said y'all was in Canada, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And New York, shoot, I don't want to talk about that. but yeah, but I'm glad that things is, I guess, I don't even know say better, but better than it was. I say better than it was, I guess you could say, but
I still don't leave my house.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
And
if I don't have to
I am
go.
masked.
Yeah,
Me,
masking.
me.
Yeah. I work with elderly and the sick. So if I go out to a public place, I wear a mask. I'm always
Yeah.
sanitizing. It's because I don't want to be the person who makes your loved one more sick. Like I usually like the people I go, like they can't take care of themselves because of illness. And so if I am not taking precautions, I'm not a good person. That's what I don't understand. Like a lot of people, like nurses and stuff, they're like, I'm not going to get vaccinated. But like you work with the vulnerable population, like everybody you come in contact with is sick. Like, why are you not taking that seriously? So yeah, it did make me mad a lot, so mad. But at the same time, I wasn't sick for 3 years. And when I did get sick, I was better in like 4 days. It was like, because my immune system had that long time to like recover. So I also don't like going out anymore because I don't like being sick. So like and we homeschool, we're not passing germs all the time, but it was a wonder. I liked, besides people getting sick, I didn't like that part, but I enjoyed the quiet of the pandemic. It was even now where I live, there's no doctors. And the pandemic is still really bad. So there's no like people aren't getting surgeries they need. It keeps getting, so people with cancer are dying quicker because they're not getting the scans they need. They're not getting the support from doctors they need because no doctors are available because they're still dealing with COVID. But our government's not talking about it anymore.
Yeah.
So no one
knows. It's the same in
this.
Ontario. Rural emergency rooms have closed down. So all those people that need to go to emergency have to go to cities, and so then the cities are backed up. So then it's like no one's getting the care they need because they're not taking care of anyone. So
Right, yeah. It's still a problem that is just getting brushed under the rugs. That it's the government is just not caring anymore. They're like, whatever happens, which is ridiculous because we have universal health care. So our taxes are, like quotation. So
quotation marks.
Our taxes are going in to try to help people, help keep them healthy, but that's not what's happening anymore. There is no health care anymore. I don't even know what our taxes go to anymore. I just know that the average person in Canada gets $35,000 a year, and Trudeau gets $330,000. Our seniors get $25,000 a year. The other pensions, right? They work their whole lives and they can't afford to live, but Trudeau gets over $300,000.
Hey Trudeau, if you want to come on our podcast, any questions?
So it's just the pandemic also brought into light how crappy our system is, how much we've been lied to. So, and it's just a lot of things came into light during this pandemic. It's still going on. It's hopefully one day it's done, but as of right now, it's more and more people are struggling because of the pandemic, because of COVID and the lack of supports, that the government's like, well, we could get away with it because everyone wasn't leaving their house, so we canceled it. So now like it's lack of supports all around.
Yeah, I agree. And I hope everywhere things get better everywhere because
we need it. Yeah, right. Like we need some hopefulness, right?
Yeah, I agree.
That's what I said. Like, to combat mental health, you need hope.
Yeah,
and like we're just not getting the hope that we used to get in previous generations and previous decades.
I need to go back to being ignorant. Like that's it.
I remember being a teenager and being like, I'm gonna go to college and then I'm gonna get a job.
And I'm gonna have a house and get married and have my 2.5 kids and yeah.
But let's dive off the topic and let's get to more brighter notes. More brighter notes. So what is your dream venture? Something that you always want to do?
I would love to perform on a really big stage. I've performed on small stages. I do other things. So like I would love to perform on a really big stage. Like think like stadium. That'd be cool.
Oh, that'd be
Like-
dope. That would be
Like a
dope.
Britney Spears kind of show.
Oh my god, I could with like the headset, be like, oh
Yeah.
my,
Yeah, and like
how
the-
am I supposed to
Yeah.
know? Yeah.
But it's like it's pre-recorded. Like
Well, yeah, I don't want to have to like, I don't want to screw up.
that's right.
That's a lot of people. Oh my god.
Well, that would be dope. That would be dope. What about you, Saunya?
My stuff always changes. I just want to make sure my kids are happy. That's like my main goal in life. It's because everything else changes. I always want to do different things. But I just if my kids grow up to be happy, good individuals, like they don't have to be saints, but if they're going out to help others too, that means I won, right? If they have extra and they share with others, that's a win for me. So that's my main goal, is to raise human beings who want to help other human beings. It's
That's
my main
also
goal.
my answer.
Yeah, that's a dope answer. And what about you, Dawn?
Finish my novel. That would be great if I can do that. Also start our commune. We're supposed to have all of us are living together. I need to start that.
That's our retirement plan.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I
We
want to
talk about all
retire
the time.
now.
Yeah, retire now. Live on a farm, 3 little houses. Farm
4
animals.
little houses, 1 for the men.
Oh, that's right. Our
the men
husbands
aren't living with us.
They live in
husbands
one
get
little
their
house
own.
together.
Yeah.
And the kids can go live with the men. Like,
That's right. They got a big house.
That's all sound dope. I really like that. That sounds dope. So what other projects y'all got going on or coming up that y'all didn't spoke about yet?
That's a good question.
I think it's the shots and ladders. That's for
the
sure.
shots
one
and
of them.
ladders
Yeah.
is a big one. Yeah.
Every October we do review horror movies for those episodes where we also dress up if you watch us on YouTube.
I remember that. I remember that. I like that stuff.
So that we're planning on doing that again, as well as in December. We also do was it 16 hours?
16 hours.
16-hour live stream. Yes.
Yeah, I remember that one too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're hoping to do that too.
I was on a couple of ones y'all were doing, so yeah, I remember that. That's dope.
Can I plug my personal stuff? Would that be okay with you guys? Okay, good, cool. Okay, I also have a music project. You can find me wherever you listen to music. Jessica Hart, Hart. I have a few songs there. Some of my songs have played on HBO shows, MTV shows, Sirius XM, that kind of stuff. So that's pretty cool.
That is cool. That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's amazing. I definitely will check it out. I'm gonna check it out.
Yeah, I do voiceover and voice acting, so I have a couple of video games coming out so if you follow our Opinionated Lushes like stuff, you'll see all my voice acting gigs too, because I run our Twitter account.
Oh, you have that Star Wars project starting like in 5 days.
Yes. So
wow.
Coming in June, there is a Star Wars audio drama that I am voicing in, and it's my first like voice acting gig that's being released. Like I've done previous stuff, but they're long-term projects because they're like video games. This one's just an audio drama, and that's really cool. So if you follow our accounts, we'll be posting and sharing that, so you can listen to me act in space.
Well, I do follow y'all, so I'm gonna definitely go check it out.
Thank you.
That's really dope. I ain't gonna lie, that's really dope.
Thank you.
So, what do you have to say for anybody that's gonna say about you? You know, like the podcast and everything that you're doing. Say something inspirational.
You don't need money to start a podcast. A lot of people think they need these like studios to start. We record from home with I'm using a gaming headset. Like it costs $40. A lot of the sites you can use free. There's free editing software. There's free support, like networking support. Like we found you, Twitter. Like Twitter, I found is like for podcasts, one of the best places to network with other podcasters is I found Twitter to be amazing for that. Yeah, you don't like, that's my main thing is you don't need a lot of money. Maybe a few dollars to promote at the beginning, like do some like Facebook ads or something, but really just be your authentic self and just do what you can when you can, and you don't really need to break the bank. Oh my gosh, break the bank.
The bank.
Blah blah blah.
I think you should have fun with it. Honestly, like I'm piggybacking off of Sonya's. Make it fun. If you're not having fun, you're not going to want to continue.
Yeah.
If you treat it like work, like it's a job, you're going to get tired of it and you're not going to want to do it anymore. So you got to treat it like something you are excited for. You know, that's my inspirational quote there.
My inspirational thing, I take, it's kind of what I use for everything. So I take it to podcasting as well. And it's kind of everything is temporary. So that means if something's really hard right now, it's not going to be hard forever. It's temporary. And if something's really good right now, that means it's not going to be good forever. Enjoy it because it's temporary. Everything, you just gotta it's ebbs and flows, baby. Ebbs and flows. If you're having if you find this week's not very many listeners, hey, you don't know what next week's going to bring. So
that's true. And all those are good, you know, amazing, inspirational things. So y'all keep doing your thing, y'all. So before y'all go, we're gonna play a segment game, and we're gonna play a segment game called 5 Random Topics. We ask y'all 5 random topics, and y'all answer long or short response, or the best way that y'all can. Are y'all ready?
Yes, this is where we thrive. We always do
They
random
thrive,
topics.
I don't.
Yes,
yeah.
I need to pre-plan this so that I'm on my seat. Okay, let's go. Let's do this.
Sorry, I do this. Oh my God, they don't know what I'm about to ask. So here we go. So what are your favorite drinks?
Rum and Coke.
50-50.
50-50 rum and Coke.
That's right.
Twisted tea.
There you go. I mean, me. I drink wine now, but yeah.
Oh, you're classy.
Nah. I try. Okay, I don't know if Dawn gonna answer this, but I'm gonna ask this anyway. What is your favorite video game and video game system?
Life is Strange PC.
I'm gonna say PlayStation. And all PlayStation games now. Final Fantasy.
Yes, Final Fantasy. So this was a hard one to pick just one. So I'm gonna pick Nintendo Switch, Zelda, or just Nintendo, Zelda. PlayStation, Final Fantasy, Xbox, Neverwinter. Oh, Gears of War, Neverwinter.
Gears of War.
Gears of War. I love Gears of War too. Yeah, see, there's so many. I can't. Yeah, no, I couldn't pick just one.
Oh, I also like Mortal Kombat. That's another
Mortal Kombat's a good one. Yeah.
On all systems.
I only play PC.
Well, for me, you know, I'm big on Nintendo, so I like Super Mario. I like Zelda.
Yes.
Well, I got a little son here, so yeah.
Oh, Mario guy.
I got a whole Nintendo thing. I'm a Nintendo fan.
I love Nintendo too since the beginning of time.
Me
right?
too.
Know your roots.
Yeah. I don't play nothing else other than Nintendo, so yeah. So Switch, yeah. So what is the last movie you saw at the movie theater?
Ooh.
Oh.
It's been a while.
Right. I actually
years.
I moved to a small area, so every time we go to the movies, there's only 4 people. So
I know what it is. Okay.
I went to see I think it was the newest Thor movie in theaters, Love and Thunder. I saw that one in theaters. That was the last time I got some spare time to go to the movie.
Funny, because mine's also a Marvel movie, but it was Black Widow. Wait, it was Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah, that's Black Widow.
Yeah, Black Widow. It was
wow.
her movie.
Mm.
Mine was The Lion King.
like most like 3D,
Yeah, like the new one. Yeah.
not the cartoon from
Oh,
1992.
like
but-
that's been a long time.
That's a long time. That's a long time. I know me, shockingly, was pretty recent. Gods of the Galaxies Volume 3. I seen that.
Oh, I'm waiting for that to come out so I can watch it like on DVD.
I know, that's what I've been saying. It's like so many of the movies I've wanted to watch in theaters, I just wait till it's like on a streaming service and I just rent it or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna come on Disney Plus soon. Pretty much in a couple of months, most likely. But yeah.
I do
Hope so.
plan on going to the movies to see the new Hunger Games, though. That is already pre-scheduled.
Yeah,
so.
you're just like, it's opening weekend. I'm there.
Dope. So, what is your favorite food to cook?
To
Fried
cook.
spaghetti.
Pierogies.
A cheese sandwich. You have to cook it.
I mean, I don't really cook a burger. I guess that's
Yeah, burger.
I love burgers. I had burgers today.
I literally had that like probably Monday. I had it Monday. We did the recording probably last week, but yeah. and last one, what is the last movie that made you cry?
Wakanda Forever. I
Oh,
cried
yeah. Oh my gosh.
the whole time.
Okay, me and Saunya were on. Dom wasn't with us, right? Was it just you and
No.
me? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
We were on 2 Cent Critic, which is it's a movie and books review podcast, and we went on to review Wakanda Forever, and oh my gosh, I bawled like a baby, and I watched it like 3 times.
Yeah, I did.
I cried every time.
I know. Like the first time I watched it in theaters, and I cried in the theater, in my popcorn the whole time. And then when it came out, I watched it, cried the whole time, and then I watched it again for the review, cried the whole time. Like it was just a really so well done.
And I haven't watched that movie, so
I've seen it. It's really good. It's really good. It did make me sad. I don't think I cried on that one, but it did make me sad. But I do have something that did make me cry. It was the Netflix show called From Scratch. It was
I haven't
sad.
seen it. No.
Yeah,
I haven't seen that either.
yeah. Watch it on Netflix. It's on Netflix called From Scratch. Zoe Lozana's in it. It's a like a romantic show, but as it got toward the end of the series, it got like sad. So
Oh.
Oh.
I should add, I cried at everything. Like I was watching Glee today, and it was the episode where Kurt Hummel's dad has a heart attack. Cried, even though they're like singing songs around him while he's like passed out in the hospital. I'm crying. It doesn't matter.
So the last time I cried over a movie, I was 3 months pregnant. I was hormonal, and I made my husband watch the movie Inside Out. And I cried during, I forget what scene it was, but I cried. I just
Was it
bawled
when
my
the
eyes
elephant
off.
man died? Because that's when I cried too in that movie, where the best friend guy.
Okay. Or like when Sad comes in, I don't know. Anyway, I cried, and my husband made fun of me the whole time. And like, I don't care, Pixar or DreamWorks, I don't know who developed it. They dropped the ball, and I got really mad because I thought it was going to be happy, and it wasn't. So I cried.
Not everything's happy, Dawn. That's why we're talking about mental health here.
That's
okay?
right. We need help.
My mental health needs some happiness, and I didn't have it.
I think any movie that has a dog die, or the dog loses their human makes me cry, because I'm like, oh my gosh, that dog must be heartbroken. So that makes me sad that this dog is sad, and I'll cry. But if there's like a dog that dies, I cry.
There's
It
an
doesn't
app
matter.
for that now, actually.
Where they can tell you if the dog dies.
Yeah, it's like will the dog die or something, but it's like an app, and you type in the movie and it tells you if there's a dog that dies or gets injured in it.
so you
Oh.
don't like, so you can be
Yeah, so you
prepared.
can choose not to watch it. Yeah.
That's
so-
good. I like that.
Yeah. App developers.
Thank you.
But Jessica, Saunya, and Dawn, thank you for coming on the show. It was an amazing conversation. I had really fun having you on.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
It was a really good, and I can't wait to come to your show soon. We're gonna work that out. And yeah. But before y'all go, drop your social media where everybody can reach you and everything she's doing. This is your time.
Okay, well, you can find us on all of the platforms if you just search Opinionated Lushes, but we really are everywhere. So just search Opinionated Lushes. If you follow, we have a link tree. It's just /Opinionated Lushes. Am I missing anything, Saunya?
Our email is
you.
opinionatedlushes@gmail.com. We have Patreon with React series exclusive just for Patreon.
We have merch.
And merch. Oh, we do have a merch store on Redbubble. Again, just search for Opinionated Lushes. But all this stuff is on our link tree. You just click it and you'll find us. That's what, except for our email. We don't have our email up there, but everything else on our link
and if you disagree with anything we ever say, whether it's on a guest podcast or our podcast, just email us at opinionatedlushes.com.
We always want people to talk to us about maybe that would be a dream guest, somebody who doesn't like us, so we could talk about
Yeah, so once again, thank y'all ladies for coming on the show. Y'all was amazing, and can't wait to do it again. And we'll be right back. I just want to take the time to thank everybody for tuning in to this latest episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Pocket TV. Thank you to my special guests, the ladies of Opinionated Lashes, Jessica, Saunya, and Dawn Marie, for coming on the show. Y'all show is dope. I can't wait for y'all to see you do many things. And check out this show, Opinionated Lashes, every Thursday and Friday and Saturday on YouTube. Show them some love. And y'all gotta check out MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast every Sundays and Thursdays at 12 p.m. We're on Spotify, Apple Podcast, our radio, Amazon Music, Pods, and many more. Y'all can check out MrGentleman Lifestyle Pocket TV on YouTube. Ken, aka MrGentleman Lifestyle Pocket Network. And y'all can check out every episode that's on there. And also, y'all can watch or listen on the website, www.realmrgentlemanlifestylepocket.com. Once again, thank y'all for tuning in to this latest episode of MrGentleman Lifestyle Pocket TV. Have a good day or night wherever you're listening to this episode. You are now listening to MrGentleman Lifestyle Podcast Season 6. True!